Good morning. Not bad. Morning. How's it sound? Probably sounds a little bit different over here today. We got the travel set up. Sound all right over there? Maybe a little bit echoey. Let me know, did quiet, too loud, just fine? Yeah, we're in Naples today. Sounds fine? All right. We're using a little bit different. So, we are live from Naples, my friends. Slight echo? Yeah, the room's a little bit bigger here. All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back. Turn up the volume on your side, guys, if it's a little bit quiet. I can't make it much louder over here, or the gain is going to start getting... Oh, I love it, man. Everyone coming in and complaining about something that means nothing to them, right? What the picture's wrong, the audio's wrong, something's always wrong. What can we make better? As long as you can hear me, and as long as you're here for free, I think everything's going to be just fine for you today, all right? New intro's bad, music's bad, mic's wrong, image is bad. I love it. I'm ready today, man. Carlos, I'm ready. I'm ready, man. All right. Well, welcome back, everyone. Hope everyone's having a good morning. We are back in Naples today. Back in Naples at my house here. So we're gonna be streaming from here for the next 3-4 days. I'm here for a little bit of a surprise. That's what I'll say. There's a little bit of surprise coming. So I'm here for a few days, and then we'll be back in Miami. After that, I'll be heading to New York, see some family. But we are here grinding every day. So let's get started. Today is August 28th, Monday. So let's first start. I got a few things I got to get used to here because this is a little bit new for me over here. Let's start with, I don't have a schedule for us, unfortunately. But I do have, obviously we know what we're going to go through. Futures, economic earnings calendar. So let's go ahead and pull up that economic calendar here to start. Get an idea of what we got this morning. So I'm going to move this over here. Bear with me today, my friends. All right. So today, economic calendar, nothing scheduled. We got right there, nothing scheduled. So that's good, right? That's good. We don't have to worry about any intraday economic news. We don't have to worry about anything. No schedule. I know, man. Everything's just bad. Monday, August 28th, no schedule. So nothing scheduled. Tomorrow, home price index, job openings, consumer confidence, 10 a.m. We have a little bit of an important day on Wednesday here. So GDP revision at 8:30 on Wednesday. So that's definitely something to be aware of. ADP employment as well at 8:15. U.S. trade balance, advanced retail inventories, wholesale inventories, pending home sales. So we got a few things. Here on Wednesday. Thursday, jobless claims, personal income, personal spending, PCE, another decently large day there. And then Friday, non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate, hourly wages, etc. Construction spending. So nothing major, nothing huge this week. Nothing, no FOMC, no CPIs. We do have that GDP. That's probably one of the biggest ones of the week. GDP 8:30 on Wednesday. So that's that. All right. Let's look at the earnings calendar. See if we got anything. Let me see if we got anything over there. Anything important, at least. How's everyone doing today? That's most important. Everyone feeling good? I'm getting used to my setup here, guys. Sorry if it's it's a little bit it's weird when you're in a different environment. Things just sort of different. It's very different when you're in a different environment. So here is the economic calendar. Not much today. Tomorrow we got Neo, Best Buy. Is that Pinduoduo? PDD? What else? Nothing really. This Wednesday is pretty decent. Salesforce, CrowdStrike, some there. Oh, look what we got here. That's my baby right there. Lululemon on Thursday. Decent sized name. MongoDB, Broadcom, some big ones there, but nothing that I'm going to be playing. I don't really play these earnings. Just something to watch, guys. Salesforce, CrowdStrike on Wednesday, and then Broadcom, Lulu, MongoDB on Thursday. Those are probably your big five there. All right. Okay, we got that out of the way. Nothing that major to be, sort of aware of. This is honestly my top watch today, which is on your screen right here. We will get into this. This is Tesla, probably one of my top watches today. But let's start with the NASDAQ Futures. There are some important things to be paying attention to today on the NASDAQ Futures. So let's get into that. All right. So here's the NASDAQ. Just want to double check everyone see everything good. We're all good here. Just want to make sure, and then we will get started. Press that like button if you could. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. I appreciate you guys' support every day, all the time. Very much thankful for that. I think we're good. It all looks good on my end, so let's get it started. All right, so NASDAQ Futures. I'm going to let me move this over a little bit so you can see. All right, there we go. All right, so 15,020. All right, 15,020 is your big level to watch today. This is the 1 hour time frame. I know it's not up on the screen today. I just didn't have time to edit all that. But 1 hour time frame, okay? And this is the NASDAQ Futures. And what you guys can see here is, it's a blast from the past in this room. Yeah, if you're an OG, you know this room. If you're an OG, you know this room. Holy shit. Trading Futures Live. Hey, thanks for the channel. I've traded a lot and did decent before, but your channel helped me tremendously with consistency. Now I can average printing over $1,000 a day, so it's pretty nice. Few years and 10K screen time, 10K hours screen, few years and 10K plus screen time, but it takes work like anything else. Wow. Thank you, man. That's the biggest donation to date. Let's put a nice little GG in the chat for Trading Futures Live. What a guy. What a guy. Hell yeah, man. Thank you so much, and congratulations. And I'm happy to hear that the channel has helped. That's awesome. Let me take a screenshot of that. I'm going to take a screenshot of that today. That's pretty cool. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. And I'm assuming you have felt value to be able to provide something like that. So that makes me very happy, man. Congratulations. All right, let's continue. right now, Trading Futures Live is the GOAT of the chat. He's the GOAT. So shout out to you, man. All right, so 15,020. 15,020 on the NASDAQ Futures. You guys can see right here. You see this little triple bottom right there? You see this little previous rejection high right here? You see these little rejections from Thursday and then these rejections from Friday, right? So you guys can see right there. You got that triple bottom, 15,020. You got that high, 15,020. You got this rejection on Thursday and then Friday afternoon rejections. Now, right now in the pre-market, we're getting a little bit of a pop above that level, right? So a little bit of a pop above that 15,020. So that is very important this morning. If we get a hold over this 15,020 today, that's going to be where you possibly can see some upside, right? If you get a hold, let's go ahead and move this like this, because this is really how I'm going to look at this. I'm actually going to turn this green for now, right? For now, because it is temporarily over, but we'll have to see how it reacts intraday, of course. But if you get a hold over this 15,020 level today, right, this could lead to a little bit of upside here, right? This could be an important little hold here. And if I zoom out, actually, if I go back a little bit, you're going to see this is not just a short-term level, right? We can see how important this level has been. All right, so if you get a hold over this 15,020 today, I think you could possibly see a little push towards that 15,140, that 20 SMA area, right? That could be the next test here on the NASDAQ, right up in here. This 15,140 area, right? And then up towards that 20 SMA. That could be your next spot if you see a 15,020 hold today, right? That's a big if. There are a few little areas to be paying attention to on the way there, right? You can see this little pivot high here. You can see these little highs over here, 15.1, 15,075, right? There's a little bit of, potential concerns at these two highs right here. But I think if you see a nice solid hold at the 15,020, then you will see that move towards the 140. All right, so that's the first thing I'm watching. Yeah, this is the MSI keyboard that MSI, shout out to MSI, sent to me. This is their very clicky keyboard. So if you're in the Discord, you guys know you're gonna be hearing some keyboard clicking today. So 15,020, 15,140. Those are your two levels on the NASDAQ today, okay? I would be a little bit hard-pressed to think that we're going to really rally through this 20 SMA here. This is going to be a major watch on the upside, right? That 15,140, 15,150, that supply up here and that 20 SMA, I think that's going to be a tough area. So definitely an area to watch today. If you fall back below 20 today, right? If you get a fall back below this 20, then you need to be cautious on looking for upside, right? If you get a fall back below this 20 and you start to see rejection step in, then you need to be cautious of playing the upside, all right? So that's what I'm watching today on the NASDAQ Futures. 15,020, do we hold it? Do we move back below? And if we hold it, push towards that 140 supply, that 20 SMA, all right? Let's go to the QQQ. So QQQ, there's a very clear level above to be paying attention to on this upside. If we get further upside, there is a very important level to watch before you get too aggressive for longs. And that is right here, this 367, guys. You can see right here. Look at these 367 rejections in the past. 367 rejections, 367 rejections. You move lower, you come back higher. Where do you reject? 367 right here. You move lower, you hold demand, and you get that big pop. When you moved over that 367 back on Wednesday of last week, you squeezed very strong. So this is what I'm watching today, right here, 367. I would be a little bit cautious of being long until, right, if we look at this 5-minute chart, I would be very cautious of being long until you get over this 367, right there. If you get above that 367 and you get a hold of it, that could be a little bit of a long entry, right? You just have to be cautious of both the 20 and the 50 SMA above. Let me backtrack for a second and give you more of a longer term idea here, or a longer term analysis. I don't personally feel 100% comfortable being long this market until we're over this high, right? This high is really where you want the market to be above to get a very aggressive on the long side. There might be some short-term long entries down here on a little bit of a bounce, but if we zoom out, right, you guys need to remember that 4-hour head and shoulder that everyone's sort of watching here, right? You remember this 15,400 area. We have a rejection here on the 4-hour, a rejection here on the 4-hour, rejection again on the 4-hour, and you can see what happened on Thursday, right? So, there is possibly some, little bounce longs in this area, but to be 100% confident on the long side and to really think that the market's going to continue higher and know that you're on the right side of the market, I would want to see us over this very large shoulder, right? And if we go to the daily chart, that is that head and shoulder formation that's pretty much on everyone's eyes, right? Over that 15,400, 440. So just keep that in mind today, right? If you do long anything, you're really just longing a little bit of a bounce move, right? You're not really longing any type of legitimate long-term, really strong rally type move, in my opinion, as of yet, because you are still under the major Thursday rejection, which is a major daily chart head and shoulder formation. So just keep that in mind. All right, if you do take any short-term longs today, that is definitely something that needs to be in the back of your head. Maybe just think of these longs as short-term scalps. Don't marry these longs because of that longer-term look. You need to keep that in mind when you're trading. What's the longer-term look, right? Sure, I'm on a 5-minute chart, but what is the longer term showing me? And it's still showing you that there's tough levels above. So today, QQQ 367, right? 367, 363 demand. That's what I'm watching on the QQQ. Why ES and not me? So ES, 1 hour, right? You guys can see we're not even close to that Thursday high, which I don't even have a line mapped out there. So let me put something up there. Right, that Thursday rejection was pretty legit up there around that 50 SMA. So let's put something up there. All right, we definitely need to be watching that 4480, 4490 area. This morning, it looks to be like this 4425, right? So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in here on the ES Futures, 30-minute. You guys can see right here, this little 4425 area, we did just break. I'm a little bit cautious, though, as we approach this 4436, this 4440 area. You guys can see, I'm actually going to move this to here. I think this is a better look today. I'm going to put this as a green zone now that we have adjusted here a little bit. So this is sort of how I'm going to be watching this today. You guys can see right here, we have this wick high from Tuesday of last week, right there at 40, right around the 4440, right? And then you have this wick high on Thursday of 2 weeks ago at the exact level, 4440. So if you do get a little bit of upside today, right, be careful into this 4440, right? 1 rejection, 2 rejections, and look how aggressive they were, right? Look how aggressive this 4440 rejection was, and look how aggressive this one was as well. So if you do get a little pop here into the 4440 today, be cautious of that level, right? That's a level to be aware of, that 4440 area. So that's number one. If we zoom out, what's the next level? The next level, in my opinion, above is around this 4450, right? You guys can see right here, 4450, previous lows, right there. If you get a pop above that level, above this 4440 area, be aware of this 4450 up here, right? That is your previous lows from Tuesday and Wednesday of 2 weeks ago. So some tight areas to be playing in here, right? 44.40, 44.50. I don't love it. I got to be honest. I don't love this upside idea into some of these sort of pivot rejection levels, right? You have this little previous low here. You have these double tops here. This just does not look like a very clean area to be playing upside through. Where would I be more confident on the upside? This is very similar to what I was talking about on the NASDAQ, right? Where would I actually be confident on playing upside? It's over the head and shoulder high, right? Which is still up there. It's that right up here, right? I'm really not that confident on playing upside through these levels until you get a move above that 44.85, that 44.90 area, which was your head and shoulder high. So if I go to the daily chart, all right, let me go to this daily chart. This is very similar to the NASDAQ. So if I sort of clean this up for us here, right, let's look at this ES on the daily chart. You can see you have rejections here, you have rejections here, and you have that major Thursday rejection at the 20 SMA and the 50 SMA. So again, right, is there longs into that level? Very possible, yes. Is it easy to trust a long into this level? Not, in my opinion, no, right? Because you're really just grinding against the market, which has been, over the last few months, down, and you saw that rejection on Thursday come in very aggressive. So trading upside back into that major rejection level, which is up here, right? Right at that 20 SMA, that 50 SMA, around that 44.85, 44.90, it's just sort of, it's uneasy. That's how I would put it. It's uneasy. I would be uneasy trading longs back into that level, knowing that, you know, these rejections could come in at any of these levels. So rejection possibility, right, around this 44.40, rejection possibility around this 44.50. There's definitely rejection possibilities, and in a market that's been trending lower after a major rejection on Thursday, it's just a little bit of a sweaty upside long, which is something I usually like to stay away from, right? Because you could see rejections at the 44.40, 44.50. You got 20 SMA and 50 SMA. You're basically battling back into all these levels, which is just something to be aware of today, okay? So 44.25, 44.40 are your first areas to be watching. SPY, big level above here is the 442. You guys remember this level, 442? You guys can see we had that rejection on Tuesday of last week. You have that rejection on Thursday of 2 weeks ago, and you're coming into that 442 as well. So 442 on the SPY today, that's your major watch. If you can get above that 442, if you see a hold above it, then you're going to move back into that 444. And then the 444, right, is where that 20 and 50 SMA stack up, and it is that daily chart head and shoulder level, right, that 444. So you guys remember, previous major high, head and shoulder formation, 444. So if we get above 444, that's really where I would be comfortable on looking for upside continuation, right? If we actually get a solid hold up here, that's really where I would be looking for that upside continuation. Until then, right, I'm a little bit cautious longing this into this 442 supply and then back into the 444. So watch 442. That's this Tuesday high rejection. Watch 444. That's your major daily chart supply level, which is equal to, right, it's equal to the ES. It's that 44.85. That's that ES level up there. And then it's equal to the NASDAQ 15,400 above, right? That's that daily chart head and shoulder level. So to sort of recap this whole thing, to sort of give you an idea of what I'm thinking here, as long as we're below that daily chart head and shoulder level, that 15.4 on NASDAQ, that 444 on SPY, I'm going to be very cautious on trying to play this back to the upside. As long as we're below those levels, I am more interested in looking for supply rejections, right? As long as we're below that 444 on the SPY, I am more interested in supply rejection plays because I know that the market can remain weak under this level, right? That's sort of how I'm game planning today. And we'll game plan as long as the SPY is below that level. If the SPY gets above 444, then we have to adjust, right? We have to change our mindset there. All right, hopefully that's a good little recap on the ES and NASDAQ. Let's get into the Dow Jones. Daniel Jones. What a mess. I mean, really, what a mess this is. Yeah, I mean, it's not pretty over here on the Dow. Maybe this, yeah, it's just this 34.6 again. That's really all you're watching. 30-minute, right? That's really all you're watching here. This 34.660, 34.7 area, I think that's really your main watch here on the Dow. You can see multiple rejections up at this 34.7 zone. So if you do get upside, right? If you do get upside, just watch out for the 34.6, 34.7 here on the NASDAQ. Or I'm sorry, on the Dow Jones up at this 34.7. All right. Russell channel. Nothing changed here on the Russell. Nothing has changed. Same exact thing on the Russell here, right? Channel trade, 1850, 1880. Nothing different here. So I would personally stay away from the Russell. Maybe you can long it down here. Maybe you look for the supply rejections up here. But the movements inside of this channel are going to be very, very bizarre, right? They're not going to be anything that really lines up very well, right? You can see you got a little bit of a bounce here, right back down. Another bounce, down, little bounce here, flush through it, back above it, right? This is the danger of trading in something that is trading sideways, right? The danger of these random flushes, pop backs above, little pop, pull back, right? It's just a mess. So if you're going to play in this area, I would say be very cautious. The Russell really has not done anything there. All right. Tesla. This is probably my main watch today. All right. Main watch today, Tesla. It's really the only thing that's showing me some kind of a consistency here on the chart. So here's the first reason I'm watching Tesla today. You guys remember that 240 level, right? You remember that 240 level over here? This was that 240 previous demand, right? We're back above it. We're back above the 240 level. So now, right? Now at the 240 level, we're above it. That is our new area to look for a potential demand hold. Because right here on the 4-hour chart, you had previous 4-hour support at 240. You are back above it, right? So that's very important this morning. You guys can see right here, if I zoom in on the 5-minute chart, look at the little hold that happened this morning at 240. Pretty much a perfect hold right at that level. That's very good. You can also see we're above that 20 SMA, right? We have now regained that 20 SMA for now, right? At least for now. That 20 SMA is exactly where we rejected Thursday morning and Wednesday afternoon, all right? Wednesday afternoon, rejection of the 20. Thursday morning, rejection of the 20. This morning, we're above the 20 and we're above 240. So that's very good, right? That's number one. That's the first thing we're looking at here. Now, let's zoom out and let's look at some levels to be aware of, right? So the first level to be aware of is obviously this Thursday high, which is 244, right? So 244 still looks to be an important level of a possible rejection, right? So 244, let's go ahead and put that on the screen. Right there. Let's turn that red. Okay. So you have your little 244 supply to be aware of. You guys can see right here, 244, 244, 244, and you look at that wick rejection at 244 on Thursday. So Tesla, yes, it is above 240, right? But where do we need to see it above today to potentially take a long? Over 244. If you're going to take a long now on Tesla without a 240 pullback, right? This is a long opportunity down here. Back at 240, that's a potential downside, right? A pullback long. If you're going to long it without a pullback, you need to see a solid hold over 244, which would be a solid hold over the previous highs right here, right here. If you get a solid hold over that 244 previous high, then I like that potential long opportunity. And where do I like that into? I like that into, if you get a nice hold over 244, I like that into this little triple top, into around that 252. So that is definitely something I am watching today, okay? If you get a hold over 244, I'm looking for a long into around that 252. If it's very strong, of course, right? If it's very strong. If you get a rejection of this 244 zone, then look for that pullback into 240 and then see how it reacts there. So 244 and 240, I think are your top two levels to be monitoring here on Tesla today. All right? NVIDIA. I'm still short NVIDIA. If you guys were in the chat, if you're in the chat, we absolutely nailed NVIDIA on Friday. I mean, nailed it. Congratulations to any of you guys that took that trade. I actually posted that live trade on Instagram and on Twitter. So if you guys want to check it out, make sure to check out my channels there. I'm probably going to post about it on Tuesday. The live trade on Tuesday here on YouTube. Awesome trade. And we talked about this to the T on the Friday live stream. We said, let's look for the fade at 480. The 480 fade on NVIDIA. Right? Why did we look for the 480 fade on NVIDIA? It is very, very self-explanatory in regards to technical analysis. Right? So you can see right here, 480, big rejections. 480, big rejections. 480, major rejection. Now, on Friday, right, we were trading back below the 480 level, right? Friday morning, right here, we were trading below 480. We got that pop right into that 480 supply and a beautiful, beautiful rejection intraday. And even if we go to the 2-minute chart, right, if we go to this 2-minute chart, look at how pretty this little bear flag into that 480 supply is, right? 480 supply, that was our fade level, bear flag. Once you broke that bear flag, bam, beautiful rejection. Now, what are we looking at today? Right, so NVIDIA cannot, even this morning, is not able to get above, right? This morning, NVIDIA is not able to get above these previous lows, right? 466. Look how important this level was, both Thursday after hours, 466, that's where it bounced, and then look at it on the intraday of Friday, right? You see this little bounce at 466 right here? Where is NVIDIA stuck under this morning? It is still stuck under the 466 level. So, you probably already know what I'm looking at here. You probably can already sort of see what I am looking at here. And I am still short some NVIDIA contracts today. This is what I'm looking at today. I am looking at the potential of a break, bear flag retest, and a rejection, right, of that level. So, this is definitely a watch for me today. Obviously, the NASDAQ will have to be weak for this to work out. If we see NVIDIA unable to break back over these 466 lows, right, this could be a nice little re-short entry here for a little bear flag breakdown. That is definitely something that I will be monitoring today. If NVIDIA can get back over 466, then obviously it probably pushes back towards that 480 again, right? And then you can look to see what happens at that 480 level. So, 466, very important level today on NVIDIA. Probably the only other really clean setup I'm looking at today. If you can get that bear flag, if you can see those supply rejections of 466, this could be a really nice little trade here. Important demand below is very apparent, right? We do see the demand below, which is very apparent. So just be careful of that. If you are short NVIDIA, right, you have to be aware that this 450 demand looks very strong below. So that could be something that sort of messes up your short, right, at this 450 demand and this 20 SMA. And this is why I always say you need to be taking high risk reward trades, right? Because if you take a short at the 466, there is still money to be made into the 450 demand, which is where you're taking profits, right? But what you get, right, most of the time for maybe a newer trader is they're shorting at the demand after it already breaks down, right? And if you start to short here at 450, right, you are not taking a good trade, right? This is the worst trade you could take today, is to watch NVIDIA drop, get FOMO, think that NVIDIA is going to tank, right? Start to get scared, like, oh, I really want to be in this, and then start to short at 450 demand, right? And then you just see a double bottom form, and you wonder why you're losing money, right? So you need, if you're going to look to play this short, you need to be into this 466, or you need to be in around this 480. I'm in at this 480, right? We entered around 480 on Friday, and that's the swing trade I'm holding up here from 480, right? So this is an entry that I'm okay with because I have risk reward in my favor. And if we do move to 450, I have a lot of reward here, right? But I'm not going to be entering new shorts at the 450 demand, right? So this is why I like these bounces to potentially look to reshort into, because you get that risk reward back in your favor. So 466, 480, levels to watch, 450 demand below, very important as well. All right. Let's go. Let's go Meta. Yeah, let's go Meta. So Meta held a very important level here on Friday, right? Meta had a really nasty drop. Really nice downside plays there on Meta. A nice 290 rejection. But, right, look at how strong this 277 came in. You guys can see right here. Excuse me. 277 right there. 277 right here, right? And 277 here. I did take profits. Thank you very much. I took half off. If you guys are in the Discord, you know that. So we took half off our NVIDIA trade up 100% within the chat, live trading. And that makes the swing trade completely free, right? So when you take a swing trade off at 100%, the rest of the money that's in the position is 100% free, right? You're not risking anything. So that's what we did on Friday. We took half off up 100%, and I'm holding the rest into today. So you guys can see right here, 277 Meta. Look at that double bottom, right? That's a very important demand that stepped up. This is still looming. I think this is still potentially looming here, right? This little, it's not perfect, right? But this little downtrend that's sort of been stuck here, that Meta's been stuck under, let's just call it something like this, right? So if you are able, right, if you're able to break this downtrend, I think Meta could find some demand off this double bottom, right? But the market needs to wake up for that idea to really work, right? But there is a nice demand hold that continues to step in here on Meta around this 277. So today, what would I be looking for? Here's sort of the watch that I have today on Meta. Meta's actually been a really good trade, a really good stock to trade lately. If any of you guys are not on the Meta wave of trading Meta, there's been some really nice moves on Meta and some really clean technical analysis. So this is definitely becoming one of my more favorite stocks to trade. 290, right? You guys can see right here, 290, 290, 290, and you can see on Friday, let's go to Friday, right here, you got a little 290 rejection and continuation to the downside. So what am I looking at today? I am looking to see if Meta pops into this 290 zone, is there a potential rejection play, right? That's something I'm watching today. If we get a pop into 290 today, into those previous highs, right? Let me go back to the hourly to show you again here. I need more time. If we trade back into this low, if we trade back into this low here, right here, this one, and we trade back into these lows over here, and we trade back into these highs over here, right, I will be looking to see if there is a rejection play of 290, okay? So that's one of the watches I got today. If you break back above 290, if you start to hold above 290, then there might be a possible upside play as well, right? If you get above 290, if you hold above that level, there could still be that little upside scalp. So either way, today, Meta 290, I think it's a very important level to watch, and it could be a level to trade off of. I want to give you an update on my Costco swing trade. You guys probably remember we've been watching this Costco stock for weeks. We're finally getting that weekly chart rejection, right? We're finally getting that weekly chart rejection. Here's where I'm sort of monitoring it to whether I want to take profits on this or not. It is this 530 level. So right here, you guys can see right here, 530. You have this little hold right there at 530. This is going to be the area to watch on whether to take profits or to continue to hold this Costco swing trade. So if we cannot break under 530, then I want to be a profit taker here, right? If we start to see 530 step up, if we start to see this bounce off this 530, then I think we should probably be taking profits in the short term, right? If you move under this 530, then I think you have a lot more continuation here for you, right? So 530 on cost, that's the watch. I just wanted to give you a short-term update on that Costco swing trade that I'm still holding. 530 will be the watch for me on whether to take profits this week or to continue to hold for more downside. I wanted to give you a little bit of a look on Google, Apple, and Amazon because these things have been really, really sideways, but still sort of outperforming on the Google and Amazon stand front. So we have still been, I still think Google has the possibility of some type of a breakout here if we get strong NASDAQ action, right? Look at this Google chart. This thing has just continued to sort of stay sideways here. We took a long on Wednesday of last week. If you guys remember this from the chat, we took a long over this 132.50. Did we take that or did we take it off the 129? I don't remember which long we took. It was either off the 129 or over the 132.50. But if you get a hold, right, today, if you see an upside move over this 132.50 right here, right, then I would look for that potential long opportunity if you get a break and hold over 132.50. I would also look, right, if we're playing the channel today, I would also be looking for a rejection of 132.50. Right? Look at what Google has done. Look at the trades that Google has provided off this level. Rejection play, rejection play, rejection play. Very nice rejection play here. And after we broke back under that on Friday, look at the downside that came in. Right? After we broke below 132.50 on Thursday, very nice rejection downside. So today, right, I will be watching to see if Google trades into 132.50. Is there a rejection setting up, right? Do I start to see some weakness here? Or do I see something like this, and do I look to long it off this level? Either way, right, the 132.50 level on Google is very important, and we can see that from this hourly chart. Rejection, 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 rejection. And if we do it again, you could look for that trade. If you hold above it, that's a flip that you could potentially long off of using the 132.50 as my stop, right? And this is why it's just so nice to be playing off these levels, because if you long it off that level, you know where your stop is. And if you short it off that level, you know where your stop is. Either way, you know where your stop is, and you can actually have a structured trade. And at the end of the day, that's all you really need, right? To not lose a lot of money, to take smart trades with real stops and off real levels. You just need to manage your trade around the key level. And for me, it's Google 132.50, right? So very important. Amazon. Here's another one that's a little bit interesting, right? Let's go to the 4 hour on Amazon. You guys can see right here. We have this little Amazon, right? 131 level. Look how important this is. It continues to hold previous highs, right? Previous supply rejections there. Look at this double bottom, 1 and 2, right? 1 and 2, right? You can see pullback, bounce, pullback, very aggressive pullback, and still holding that level. So Amazon, right, still maintaining that 131 level. I'm a little bit cautious of, longing it now after it being sort of right in the middle of this channel, but I would continue to watch this channel here, guys. I think this is probably a pretty decent trading opportunity. watch for the 137 rejections here. You can see the rejections that came in here. You can see the rejections that came in back here. So that 137 level looks like a good level to play off of. So if we do get a pop into that level, you could look for those rejection plays. If you get a hold above 137, we could absolutely be looking for that long opportunity as well, right? If we get a move back into, right, if we get a move back into 131, right, if we get a move back into 131, that could be a potential long opportunity as well, right? Previous low, previous low. If you get a little pullback into that 131, you could look for that long as well. A break under 131 sets up a very nice downside scalp, right? So you can see here, just by trading off these technical levels, how clean this is sort of played out on Amazon. You only trade Amazon at two levels. You either look for trades here or you look for trades here, right? You either look for rejections at 137, longs over 137, you look for longs off 131, or you look for shorts under 131. And I say this a lot, but if you can limit your trades, the trades you take, to actually playing off levels rather than just taking random longs intraday and random shorts intraday within a channel, right? Instead of just clicking your mouse 20 times intraday in between random areas, and if you can just only trade here and only trade here, you can see the trades that were given, right, in the past. Very nice long, very nice short, very nice long, very nice short, right? And these were all at the key levels instead of just messing around in random areas, right? So again, I just want to reiterate that. This is why I point out these levels in this live stream, because these are the levels that you want to look to take trades off of. So I would watch 131 on Amazon and I would watch 137 on Amazon and look to see what sets up at those levels, right? Very important. Let's take a second and press the like button. That's first of all, okay? First of all, let's take 1 second. We got 1,800 people here. Let's press the like button. We got 600 likes. We could get 1,000. We could do it. What do I want to look at? I think I wanted to show you AMD, because AMD, I did take a little bit of a loss on AMD on Friday. I tried to short it on a 102 rejection, and this thing just sort of had zombie strength. Yeah, I'll go to Apple next. This thing just had some random zombie strength on Friday. So 102 previous highs, right, on AMD. And if I zoom in over here, okay, Ahmed, sorry, brother. We're not looking at Roblox here, and please do not spam the chat. Appreciate you. So 102, right? You guys remember that level? We talked about that on Friday, right? And so I tried to play that short on that 102 rejection. I got a nice little gain in the short term, but this thing just had some random strength, right back to the upside. And as soon as we broke back over 102, I stopped out of that trade. So you can see this morning, we're very much holding that 102 on AMD. I don't like trading AMD. Friday sort of reiterated that. I tried to give it a chance, right, for some clean action under 102, and this thing it's just not really doing much, guys. I would reiterate to stay away from this. You might be able to play longs off this demand, right? There might be a long here if you really want to trade AMD. There might be a little long here, maybe back into the 106. I could definitely see that happening, right? I could see that happening on a hold of that 102, 101 demand area. This previous low, this demand that stepped up, and then also it's not just that, it's also a 4-hour high. So if I go back here, you guys can see on the 4-hour, there was a very major previous high at this 100, 102 area, which is likely going to hold. So there might be a little play there, right? Back into that 106 supply, very possible. But again, I've talked about this in the past. This price action just is not it as of late. And I would personally sort of proceed with caution. Apple. Yeah, let's go to Apple, because Apple's actually creating a little bit of an inverse head and shoulder here, potentially. It's a little bit sloppy, but, right? But we know Apple is Apple, right? At the end of the day, I think that's actually a valid thing to say. I know some people would fight that. That's just dumb to say. Apple's Apple. But in all honesty, Apple just, it has some kind of strength that it just gets protected, right? Apple is Apple, and the tendency here is for it to continue higher. So if you get NASDAQ strength today, you are seeing, right, a little bit of an inverse head and shoulder here on Apple. This is definitely potentially a little bit of a bottoming formation around that 177 zone, right? We can see that 177 zone has now re-held itself, right? You have holds here. You have a hold again at that 177 level. So if Apple's over 177, I think this can maintain, right? But we need to be over. It looks like this. It's even up towards these wick rejections here. It's like this 183 area. This 183 area looks a little bit heavy, right? You guys can see right here these wick rejections here. This wick rejection here around 183 on the 4-hour. Let's go down to the hourly chart. Right, you can see those rejections up there. Very major rejection at the 20 SMA and 183, and then very major rejections back here. So if you get Apple close to that 177, I think there could be long opportunities here, right? You can see over here, possible long opportunities around that 177. But you need to make sure you're in at a good point here, right? This is the key. The key here is if you're going to look to long Apple here, you need to have a good entry. And a good entry is back, I would say, under like 178 to 177. That's really a good entry, right? Down here. I would be hard-pressed to be chasing Apple up into the 180s, right? You got the 180 supply that's been important. You got the supply above at 183, right? So I would not be taking Apple longs above the 180s. I would be looking for potential pullbacks to demand. Look to see if this holds. If it does, there could be longs off this 177. The other long that I would look for if Apple really gets strong is just look for that long above this high, right? There's still room, right? And there's still room there. If you do even catch a long over that 183, right? Even if you catch this long over 183, at least you have some confirmation of a hold above previous highs. And there's absolutely still meat on the bone here over this 183. So I would be a little bit careful of longing into the 180s, longing into the 183s. I would either look for a pullback in the 177, right, for that demand long, or I would look for the break and hold over the previous highs for confirmation right there, right? Those would be the only two long areas that I would take. I wouldn't want to long at 180. I wouldn't want to long near the 20 SMA, and I definitely don't want to long at the previous double top highs, right? So where's the good spot to actually have an entry? In my opinion, it's on a pullback to 177, or it's after Apple breaks all these highs, right? Gets you confirmation that it's actually going to break through those levels, holds that previous high, then you have confirmation for a short-term scalp to the upside, right? All right, guys. That's the show I got for you today. Let's take a quick look at the NASDAQ and see what it's doing. Okay, so the NASDAQ is holding that 15,020 pretty nicely. So that's really your watch. 15,020, see if you can hold above it. But please, 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 right? Just remember this. If you are long today, please pay attention to where this daily 20 SMA is, right? 15,140, 15,150 area. This area up here, please be cautious if you are long up into this zone on the NASDAQ. All right? All right, guys. Press the like button if you could. We almost got 1,000 likes. I appreciate that. We'll be at this setup until Thursday of this week. So a little bit of a different setup. And yeah, I'm going to try to fix the echo. It's just the room is larger. And the room just naturally echoes. But it is what it is. Press the like button. Subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.